again. I'm A.M. Grabelny here down in the Expo Hall. I'm a developer advocate for Game Day, one of your hosts here. I've lost track of how many people have walked through the shot at this point. I think we had the most up there, David. So I'm here at the DeepRacer stand with David. David, please introduce yourself.
Yeah, so I'm David Smith. I'm a solutions architect on the DeepRacer team, and this is my full-time job. I get to travel the world running DeepRacer at various summits. This is my 6th summit this year, so don't feel too bad for me.
That's a lot of travel, though. It can get a little grueling. I know. I also am out and about myself. Now, some people have not had the pleasure of actually participating in DeepRacer, which they can remedy that today. They can actually go into the console without a car, without anything. But before they do that, let's tell them a little about what is DeepRacer.
Yeah, so DeepRacer is a gentle introduction into machine learning, trying to demystify it and show that it's not for machine learning specialists or technical people. Anyone who is technically curious, as I like to think of it, can have a go at it. It's all about reinforcement learning, so you're trying to incentivize the car to drive in the way you want it to do as someone else walks through the shot. This is amazing. The number of people walking through the shot.
Is it amazing?
We just need more barriers, but it's a good thing. It means we've got a busy stand. People are here, they're racing their models, they're trying to compete for a prize. So first place today, tickets to reInvent at the end of the year for the championship finals. Wow. And we've had some impressive runs today. We've got some of the usual pro racers. Matt Camp, who lives in France now, he won it in 2019 here at London. He won it last year here in London, and he came here this morning. He was the second run of the day. He set a new world record, 7.023 seconds. He is currently in 3rd place, so he's now going to try and race some more models, train again a bit longer, give it another go, and see if he can win that place.
So let me get this straight. Set a world record, but is somehow still in 3rd place. So that means multiple world records were set today.
Yeah, so before we came here, the world record was set at the Mumbai Summit, was 7.080 seconds. Matt Camp, he rocked up, he set 7.023. He's like, thank you, Matt, you've just ruined my entire event by setting a new track record that no one can beat. 5 minutes later, Zod came in 6.970, and a little bit later, one of the guys from JPMC, he set 6.769.
That's like when people started running 4-minute miles, right? Like the first person who did it, they thought it's impossible. It's never going to happen. But then as soon as they did, 4-minute miles started happening like that over and over. Maybe it's the same.
Maybe it is. I've never run a 4-minute mile, so I'm going to stick to DeepRacer, just chasing the cars around the track and trying to get faster lap times.
Yeah, I do about a half-hour mile maybe. I go sit for a little bit, and then
have a little rest, have a coffee, maybe read the paper, that sort of thing. But yeah, so the great thing about reinforcement learning and with DeepRacer, you don't need to be an expert, technically curious. You can do it all in the console. Go train a car. You can take part in the monthly competitions that we run. So we have a monthly league. It's split by region as well, so try and get more people across the globe taking part. We've been doing DeepRacer now since reInvent 2018 when we originally launched it. So the interesting thing, we launched it at reInvent 2018. We used this track, or a version of this track. The lap time set then was just over a minute in 2018. Fast forward to 2019, that record was 7.5, 7.6 seconds, and then today we're on a similar track. We're going around in the reverse direction, so we're racing clockwise, whereas at reInvent 2018 we race counterclockwise or anti-clockwise, depending on where you are from in the world, and we've got a 6.7 now on the clock.
I was there in 2018. I talked about at reInvent. It was called Launchpad back then. Now we're called AWS On Air. But yeah, I was there. I remember it was amazing to see this because it was one of the first, for me at least, like really tactile things that I could put my hands on and understand machine learning from a physical perspective. Because it's got a real car. Like this is a physical, real car, which you don't have to get started. Just remember that. But it is, you actually see it run around the track, and you can see the progress that you're making too.
Totally. And so the interesting for me is I do these events with the customers and that sort of stuff, and I've taken it into universities and into schools, and people get really inspired and very passionate about it because it is that tangible, hands-on thing. It's not, it's kind of coming out of the classroom and onto the track or whatever. It's not a theoretical thing. It's like you're training your model, you're trying to improve it, you're trying to make it faster. Another guy walks into camera shot. This is amazing. And people that are kind of like, oh, I've got to do a workshop or it's kind of dull. As soon as they get their model on the track and they start racing, it gets competitive and people care.
I was going to say, I can tell already just from the world records being set that it is extremely competitive here at the summits. If I want to get started, we got about 30 seconds left for the audience. If I want to get started with DeepRacer, what do you recommend?
Go online. There's plenty of workshops on there in the console. We've got one built into the console. It's like a 10-minute crash course, boom, pun intended, on DeepRacer, getting started on machine learning. We've also got sample code. So even if you know nothing and you can't code, we've got 3 different bits of sample code in the console. You can just train those for an hour. Those models, you train it for an hour, it will go around the track. You're not going to set a 6-second lap, but you are going to set maybe a 15 or 16-second lap, and then you just kind of refine it. You start Googling, or other search engines are available. You start looking for the kind of code and getting tips. A lot of the pro racers here, they share tips and tricks online of how you can improve your model. Yeah, and it's just get involved and give it a go.
And most importantly, you learn, right? That's the real value. Also, maybe the competition too, and winning the ticket to reInvent. But hey, we'll talk about that once you go out and try it in the console. So go check out DeepRacer, and we'll be back with more live from the expo hall in just a little bit.